Just over 400 years ago, the Mayflower landed in Cape Cod, bringing Protestant English pilgrims in search of a new life. A year later, the story of Thanksgiving was born here in Plymouth after colonialists and Native Americans shared a meal in 1621.
It was a day of Thanksgiving that those who had survived, and it was an opportunity to interact with the indigenous people who lived there.
This fourth Thursday in November is so deeply rooted in American tradition that it's even more celebrated than Christmas.
Yeah, being grateful for safety and happiness and history here in Plymouth.
But there's a difference between the story most Americans know and the version told by the original inhabitants of the bay, the local Wampanoag tribe. Today, this 1,000-year-old people still number between 2,500 and 3,000, living around Mashpee, 50 kilometers south of Plymouth.
Thanksgiving or whatever should just be like whatever they do with football and then like Black Friday, and not bring up the whole history of it all because it's just bonkers.
Talia Landry is Wampanoag and a guidance counselor for tribal youth. She says recognition of the history is essential to their identity.
When the colonists had their first harvest and they were celebrating their first harvest, I guess it's one of their traditions to light off cannons and stuff. So with that, the Massasoit at the time, who was Usamiquin, gathered 93 warriors to go and see what was going on. The colonists said, "Oh, we've successfully had our harvest, please join us." Then they came, but it wasn't like an invitation. It wasn't like this big feast, like, oh, the pilgrims are inviting the natives to thank them for this harvest. No, they were celebrating on their own.
Far from Turkey and folklore, Talia fights every day to preserve her culture, and like the rest of her tribe, doesn't celebrate Thanksgiving.
Coming together as a family and sharing meals and stuff like that, that's not against, I don't think, anybody's traditional values or what people would want to do. So it is super conflicting because when you know the history of it and what has been done to our people in the genocide, then you don't want to partake in it because you feel like you're celebrating something that was basically a celebration of your demise as a people.
90% of the Wampanoag disappeared after their first contact with Westerners. First decimated by disease, then killed in the war with the settlers. Today, Talia and Sierra make traditional instruments from wood and horn, a craft handed down through generations.
Not a lot of people know this. And it's an art that's going to die if nobody learns it from our elders.
Elders like Darrell are the guardians of memory and tradition.
A little bit small on the one side.
It's okay, that'll work.
But the elders are also witness to the difficulties encountered by their people after centuries of assimilation.
They're giving Thanksgiving to celebrate what? Them coming here, finding this land, finding our people. They didn't find anything here. They've been bringing things over here, alcohol, drugs, different things like that. All of us have had people in our families that have suffered from that we lost, So they can never do right. The only right they can do is give us what they took and leave us alone.
The Wampanoag were only federally recognized in 2007. The status gave them a reserve, but today this territory represents less than 1% of their former land.
Between Taunton, Mashpee, and Middleborough, we have different parcels of land, and they're, I want to say, about 300 acres altogether.
Thanksgiving, at its roots, is a tradition the settlers borrowed from the Wampanoag. The tribe holds several such meals a year, like on this Saturday in November, where families present the tribe's newest arrivals. For them, giving thanks is a daily occurrence.
We're thankful for waking up. We're thankful that we're able to see each other. We're thankful that we're still a people. What you see here today is honoring our youth, our babies who are not here yet, our babies that are here now, and the old.
In Algonquian, Wampanoag means people of the first light, a long-lost language that is being given new life.
It's our obligation to educate our children, but also when they come across something in school where it's uncomfortable and it's not true history, and we let our kids know it's okay to speak up. It's okay to say that's not the history.
The Wampanoag tribe travels to Plymouth this Thursday not to celebrate Thanksgiving, but to commemorate what they call the Day of Mourning, the day which for them signifies the beginning of colonialization that forever changed the destiny of their people.